Welcome everyone to a casted game for Age of Empires 4, and today spawning in the southeast corner map playing in red, we've got beastyqt playing as the Delhi Sultanate, and his opponent in the northwest playing in blue. We've got lucifron playing as the French. Welcome everyone to Dry Arabia, featuring two of the very best players in Age of Empires 4 of course, and two interesting civilizations. Two civs actually that I love watching because they're very aggressive, feudal age heavy civilizations, but for very different reasons. You've got the French getting the French Royal Knights out nice and early, heavy powerhouse units, looking to get the free resources on the map. Of course, the deer, the boar, the berries, you name it. The Delhi, on the other hand, they'll be looking to get hold of those sacred sites. And I gotta say, this matchup, it interests me a lot because the two civilizations going toe-to-toe, French obviously going to pump out units, but so are the Delhi. The Delhi, though, will look to try and get the sacred sites, and the issue about getting those is sometimes a bit hard to move out super early against the French. You know, you're always a bit cautious of coming up against the knights, and so it gives you an interesting decision to make about your landmark choices. You've got the Tower of Victory, you've got the Dome of the Faith. The question is, which one do you go with? And well, two options really, two very viable options, but I think in this particular matchup, when you play as a Delhi going up against feudal age heavy civilizations, I feel like there are two things to consider. Number one is obviously the benefits of the Tower of Victory, the extra attack speed. In fact, to be fair, there's three. So yeah, the extra attack speed is pretty good with the Tower of Victory. The second thing to think about is the fact that, well, are you really going to be able to move out on the map at an early time against the French? Probably not. So having the Dome of the Faith, getting extra scholars out nice and early, is not necessarily going to help you as much as you'd like versus, say, other civilizations that open up with a second town center. Because ultimately, as the Delhi, you probably can't move out onto the map until sort of 10-11 minutes because of the threat of the French Royal Knights. And so that means that Dome of the Faith is a little bit less kind of appealing. But there's a third thing to think about. When you go up against a civilization like the French or Jeanne d'Arc or Rus, feudal age civilizations, you have to think, well, if you do have an extended feudal age, you've got a lot of army. Eventually you want to get those upgraded unless you throw them away or make them trade off. And if you do want to keep them alive and upgrade, the thing about the Delhi Sultanate, their upgrades, they are incumbent on them is the scholars. They need the scholars to make those upgrades come in quicker, and the Dome of the Faith, of course, is suited a bit more to that. Tower of Victory means that, well, you're going to be pumping out scholars particularly soon, and so often do see Castle Age units taking a long time to be upgraded to their veteran status when the Delhi Sultanate do get to the Castle Age. Does it kind of limit that power spike to the Castle Age? Of course, as the Delhi, though, if you want to just try and navigate that, you can look to just take a really good trade on your units, not necessarily throw them away, but, you know, use them up. And then look to just mass up the heavily armored units, the gold units, in the Castle Age, whether it be crossbowmen, man-at-arms, or lancers. That's also another way to navigate that. Speaking of which, it will be the Tower of Victory for Beasty. Going to be giving that extra attack speed. Very, very nice for him. And the French, going to be opening up with the School of Cavalry. No real surprises there. Now, I'd like to say a very big thank you for everyone supporting the channel, whether it be on Twitch and YouTube. You guys are absolute legends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been a wild ride. We've been growing on YouTube and on Twitch, to be fair. It's been a good couple of months, and I've been enjoying Age of Empires quite a lot recently. Lots of tournaments coming up by EGC TV as well, so looking forward to that. First night queued on up. It's going to be popping out soon. Now, in terms of the base, I've got to say the Delhi with the wood line so close to the town centre, it's going to be helpful. Gold right at the back, not that he's kind of reliant on that at this stage of the game anyway. And scholars starting to pop out. Well, I think he got one extra scholar, didn't he? Looks like it. The question is, what production building will Beasty be opening up with? There's a large argument for a barracks, but it's actually going to be a stable instead. So going to be looking to get the Ghazi Raiders, get the extra mobility. I'm sure he'll probably add in a barracks at some point. But Beasty wants to put some pressure, wants to get on the map as soon as possible with those Ghazi Raiders. And you see a scholar popping out, just going to be garrisoning inside the stable, and that's going to be taking advantage of efficient production, which has already come on in, by the way. So going to increase the production speed. And we should see the knight heading across the field. There we go. Going to charge on in. Oh, no, maybe not. Villagers get pulled away. Took the majority of the berries, though, which is definitely helpful for that food income. Now can rely on the sheep back at home. Speaking of which, actually, this is actually really nice for the Delhi. Like, opening up with berries means that your sheep last a lot longer. And On the other hand, the French are going to have to opt to go for the deer pack in the north, which is okay because, to be fair, it should be walled in pretty easily with the palisades. Two Ghazi Raiders on the field. Deer camp a little bit harder to take for the Delhi, though. That's really far forward, really far north, so it's difficult to get wraparound on those. And the Ghazi Raiders forcing out the barracks for the French, and if the Delhi can start to keep pumping out units, maybe they'll put the French on the back foot, which is actually not really where they want to be. If you're the French, that is. Knight just about to charge on in. Shouldn't get the hit there, I don't think. Or might he just? No, he just about gets out of there. The movement speed for Beasty, just a little bit too much. He's engaging this. I'm not so sure about... I mean, he's going to pull away the Ghazi Raiders, to be fair. Now, the great thing about the Ghazi Raiders, by the way, they got the extra attack on heavily armoured units, +2 damage on heavily armoured units. Is definitely a nice little bit of an addition there for the Delhi. Loses the scout, so extra vision won't be there anymore. And so it's actually kind of interesting because these two civilizations, not that it matters in this particular matchup because both are going to be having an extended feudal age most likely. But if you do have one civilization that techs up a little bit earlier, they both got some competitive advantage, right? You've got the French Royal Knights, they deal well against castle age units in good ways, they've got heavy pool of HP. The Ghazi Raiders, they do well against heavily armoured units specifically. Speaking of which, he does lose one Ghazi Raider, lucifron back and on out. One thing to consider as well, both civilizations have some interesting mechanics. Oh, wait, lucifron. I mean, this is great for lucifron. Beasty will not want to take this. He's going to lose another Ghazi Raider, maybe even another. Well, that's a bit rough. Not the greatest of engagements there for Beasty. Charge comes on in. Oh, wait, did that not hit? That was kind of weird. It felt like it didn't hit. Either way, lucifron backing away. Now, to complete that thought, both civilizations do have an interesting mechanic to heal on up, right? So the Ghazi Raiders can come back home. The Deadly Sultanate can heal up with the Scholars. Lucifron with the French can get chivalry, which is about, and there we go, it's coming in now, 300 resources, which I think is actually really decently priced. Used to be a lot more expensive, but effectively if you heal up 2 knights, 2 and a bit knights, completely from the brink of death to full health, you've already made it worth your while. Definitely long term is a great tech there for the French. Venturing out onto the deer camp. This is where things become a little bit exciting, right? Because the Delhi should be able to move out on the map relatively soon, maybe a couple more minutes or so. Adding in a double arch range and a barracks. So we're going to be pumping out those units. The arch range barracks, I like it because, of course, it's going to be maximizing the benefit from the Tower Victory. Ghazis are great, especially for raiding. But the Tower Victory, you're really going to make the archers and the spearmen worth their while. Couple of knights just camping out in the northern area. Just in between the two sacred sites, just in case the Delhi make a move out. Looking to wall up in the north. It's a bit of an extensive wall, actually. I mean, if you can get access to the deer camp, that could be pretty helpful. But it's pretty far out to get the deer camp for the Delhi. Not ideal map spawn for them. Going around the back here, Beasty. He's looping wide, trying to remain undetected. And I don't think... Well, I'm not sure lucifron will see this. Not really got any vision there. And he's just sending Ghazi Raid in the north. Maybe he's going to be using a distraction technique, actually. If he just bangs on the palisades a little bit, forces lucifron to look in that area. Maybe he won't look around the west. Lucifron, though, he's heading right down the middle to see what value he can get. Keeping some spearmen back, though. Splitting up the army. Oh, wait, the Ghazi Raiders. They're going to jump on this. There's a village. Oh, God, there's little villagers on the deer camp. And lucifron has not spotted this just yet. This could be about 2 to 3 dead villagers. This is massive. Ghazi Raiders putting their name to the test. He gets one. Oh, wait, he's fighting with the villagers. That's not really what you want to be doing. Lucifron is backing away now, but God, he's losing a couple. Lost 3 so far. Wait, he's fighting with more? This is not a fight you want to take. Ghazi Raiders. We have to deal with that. He's possibly just trying to buy time for the spearmen, but I think Beasty should be able to ride on out of there. Will he get one more villager? I don't think he does. And does get hit a little bit by the spearmen, but great value already. Killed 5 villagers. Does lose 1 Ghazi Raiders. Definitely a worthwhile trade. Doesn't seem like a lot, but the French town centre does run a bit faster, hence why the villager difference is not all that much. They train a villager in 17 seconds versus the 20 seconds for, well, most other civilizations. But that kind of gap has been completely obliterated, that villager villager gap, and that's great for Beasty. Starting to move out now with the infantry. Having done a lot of damage to the economy and forcing lucifron back, that's actually kind of a big detail. It's not so much, I mean, sure, killing 5 villages is definitely beneficial. But it's more about the fact that lucifron now has to head back, and it gives her a lot of map position, right? Because he can't really let these Guards Raiders run loose. And what that allows to happen now, Beasty moving on the middle of the map. Looking to get those sacred sites, and even get the palisade walls with the infantry building them up. That gold income is going to be crucial if he's going to be thinking about going to the castle age. And yeah, these little, this one fight actually has made a massive ripple effect, right? Taking out 5 villagers, forcing the army back for lucifron. Giving Beasty a bit more map control to get the sacred sites. This dive on in, though, loses 2 Guards Raiders for free. Does cause a bit of idle time, but not a lot. Going for the deer camp again, and he might actually get 1 villager out of this. He does, so, I mean, he's going to lose the 3 Ghazies. Maybe, will he get another one? That's actually massive if he does. I think he might. He might just. He does. That's huge. Guards Raiders done so well. Knights diving on, though, in Beasty's base. A couple of spearmen here. Not necessarily enough to deal with this. I mean, the Knight's taking a trade. I mean, to be fair, if he kills 1 or 2 Knights, it's going to be worth. Town centre, garrison with 5 units. He needs to focus on that weird knight if he can. Weird knight? That low knight, if he can. I don't know if he's weird or not. But if he can kill a couple of knights, it'll be huge, because chivalry will come into play otherwise. And there it is. 2 knights, 1 on 6 HP, 1 on 7. And if they're kept home and safe and secure for lucifron, it's going to be great value from chivalry. Great game so far. A little bit of a pull and push effect with the armies. Adding in a 3rd archery range and a 2nd barrack. So yeah, Beasty definitely going to play this heavy feudal age. Kind of expected. Knights diving around on the wood line. Now, wood line, yeah, that's pretty far out from the town centre now, of course, because they've been chopping away. This could be a good counter raid. Decent counter raid. Hasn't lost a single knight in this raid yet. Well, he might soon. Taking out the spearman. Only 1 there to defend with. He's killed a good few villagers here. Great raid there for lucifron, I should say. Beasty needs to keep up some spearmen here back at home. He's got a bit of a knight mass in his base, and that's a lot of villagers on berries. This could be a massive... Wait, he's going to pick this off. Alright, he spots the mill. Villagers going away from Beasty. Definitely worth pulling away. He's going back to the berries, though, and doesn't have much army here. If lucifron wraps around, and he is... Oh, God, this could be dangerous. Beasty, he's not spotted at all. He's backing away now. Only loses 1 villager out of that, though, to be fair. And the spearman getting positioned. So not too terrible for Beasty. Getting the second set in the middle as well. And certainly as time goes on, it feels like Beasty's getting some good victories here in terms of the small battles, going for the sacred sites and trading off the army well. Spearman engaged, though. That should be another good fight for Beasty, at least at the beginning of it. Villagers need to back away, though. They're fighting involved. And wait, Spearman in the South Forest, they're not engaging. Oh no, that's unfortunate. Beasty must have been looking somewhere a little bit different from that screen where he needed to be. Alright, lucifron making a move down the middle now. He doesn't want to get the sacred sites away cheaply, right? Otherwise it gets a little bit out of hand. Looking to wall him in and trap those knights, which is quite nice effect if he can do that. Decent number of units though for lucifron down in the middle. The army for Beasty a little bit more spread out. It makes it a little bit trickier to mount a full-scale response to any pressure, which is definitely mounting in the middle of the map. Oh no, villagers on the north. Thankfully he's got a gate, so should be able to go around it, but yeah, he's starting to really get those raids in now, lucifron. Beasty needs to try and shore up the defenses. And it all comes down to the fact that it is about timing, right? So the French had to move out to the deer camps a little bit earlier than the Delhi. So now the Delhi are in the more exposed eco pockets. This is where lucifron and the French are starting to come into a bit more rhythm. Splits the spearman off. He's got a good number of units at home, but that allows the French to get on the map again and deny those sacred sites. Definitely a tug of war mechanic created by these sacred sites. Trapped in a little bit. And I think at this point, there's no retreat out of these units, I'm afraid. Scout goes down. Could be torching through the palisades in the north. Yeah, he really doesn't want Delhi to get those free food resources, understandably so. And welcome on in, everyone on Twitch chat. How you doing, LC Driver? Hope you're doing well, buddy. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about on the YouTube side of things, I have been streaming on Twitch these days a little bit, here and there. So it's worth checking out and dropping on by if you wish to see the games casted live. Guys worried on the north, just poking and prodding. Good amount of army here for lucifron, but can definitely say the same for Beasty. Now, I think Beasty's actually starting to group his army a bit more together. Yeah, he certainly is. I should be able to build up the palisades once again. The thing is, though, as the feudal age kind of extends itself. With only one sacred site, you got to favor the French, like in terms of villager production. It's just significantly faster with the town center, right? We'll see how this game pans out. Could come down to 1 or 2 fights, and might be seeing that fight relatively soon. It looks like Beasty heading out to the middle of the map once again. Down in the middle. Oh, those villagers. Lucifron. Oh no, that was not intended, I don't think. Yikes. It loses a handful of villagers. I don't think Beasty needs to engage this. Probably needs to back away. I mean, he doesn't need to engage this at all. Can look to get the sacred site in the middle, re-wall up again, and work from there. Now behind this, being on board, certainly helpful for the French. Going to delay any sort of need for farming transition a little bit longer. Palisades didn't get fully completed in the end. Archer's getting some good damage out for the Beast, for Beasty actually. He's from backing away, losing a couple on the retreat, which is not the engagement he would have wanted, at least not the start to it. Knight numbers not looking all that great, only 10 of them, and so many spearmen for Beasty. I think if he actually took a fight here, we'd be able to trade decently well. We'll see if he decides to go for it. It's a tricky one. I think it's relatively even. I mean, it comes down to the Knight micro, I think. If the Knights can stay away from those spearmen as much as possible. Having said that, the attack speed... Oh, God, this is not... Oh, that's not good. Those Knight numbers are going to really dwindle. I mean, the spearmen are going to take them out really quickly. Yeah, Knights are all gone. And there are a decent number of spearmen still here for lucifron, but the arch numbers are just way too good for Beasty. Look at the attack speed. It's just so much better for the Delhi, of course. Healing up with a couple of scholars. Going to buy some time. A couple of Knights, though, still remain, though. So they'll be able to absorb a lot of the arrow fire. Backing away for now. Beasty not interested in continuing that fight. At least not now. He's backing away. Got the sacred site down the north as well. Knight riding on the wood line. 2 spearmen, though, looking to defend. Overall, I think it was a good fight there for Beasty. Backed away in the end, but he's got hold of the second sacred site. And the third. It looks like the gold is being held back as well, Beasty, to get that castle age. Sometimes you do see Delhi players go for a market and trade it on in, just to pump out more feudal age units, but it feels like Beasty is opting for that castle age soon. And a great thing for the Delhi, actually, at this point, is when he does get the castle age, whilst he does have a large standing army, this is what we talked about earlier in the cast, by the way, so if he does opt for the castle age, there's a lot of army that he needs to upgrade, but to be fair, he has a decent number of scholars. Does he have a second mosque? It feels like almost he must though, but no, it's just the one mosque for now. Like, he doesn't actually have... He has a decent number of scholars. If he does continue to pump them out, the tech up times wouldn't be too bad. But the other alternative is just to take a really good trade and thin out the forces for lucifron. But the great thing for the power spike for the castle age is maybe not so much in terms of the tech ups, but also, I mean, bear in mind the scholars could go for the relics really early, right? He's got scholars on the field already. If he gets them in the position, as soon as the castle age comes on in, he could just scoop them up, and that's going to bode really well for the mid to late game. Palisade walling up the sacred sites. I think that actually makes a lot of sense. Like, it makes a lot of sense just to get those relics nice and early, super early as you can. The scholars need to get on out of there. It's going to be the compound of the defender going to give the cheaper keeps. On the other hand, I wonder what lucifron's going to go for. It probably makes a lot of sense to go for the guild hall. Like, wants to... I don't think you get that much value from this at this point. Especially with the game looking to go late. Or Palisades coming up for Beasty, just to, you know, make sure he's safe from the tech up. Like, ultimately, when you tech up, that's when you're vulnerable. It could be a signal for lucifron to push on in. I think if he does, though, it would be a mistake. He's going to be taking up himself. It doesn't have really massive units that he'd want. Looks like it's going to be the guild hall. Now, interesting enough, we're going to get a bit of a farming transition. This might be a little bit tricky for the French, actually, because they've only just spent a lot of food on the tech up, but also kind of running out of those food sources. The boar has been left behind. 418 food on that still remaining, actually. Relying primarily on the deer camp. And look at this. Scholars already up and running. Oh, they're picking them all up. He's got one so far in his clutches. To be fair, only one so far. Kind of expected to see a couple more, actually. But the key detail is picking up the one which is, like, really he has no right to get. It'd be kind of cool if he gets this one. Wait, what's going on here? He's actually on his enemy's berries. Right on the west side. He's got an outpost as well to protect. 5 villagers there to garrison inside if he needs to. I like it. It's a good bit of food coming on in, but more importantly, denies food from his enemy. Not that the French necessarily rely on berries anyway, but it's just every little bit helps, right? Veterans are coming on in for the archers and knights. It's going to take a bit of time for the delis though. Look at that, 2 minutes almost. That's not ideal. I mean, I'm sure we're going to see engagement before then, most likely. But what he can do, Beast, look at the food and gold he's getting. He's getting a lot. We're going to try and get our way with that relic. Bit slow on his feet. Knight's about to ride on in. They're going to charge in. They're going to spot him. I don't think Beasty engages this, does he? Wait, he's going to engage this? I'm not so sure about this. This is a good army from the French. Don't forget, this is a castle age army. This is a feudal age army. It looks like he's going to trade off anyway. Oh, I'm not so sure. He wants that. He wants the relic big time, right? Wait. Hello? Scholar! These guys are sacrificing their lives for you and you're just standing there watching. Get out of there. Knight's diving on in. I mean, yeah, this is not a great fight for Beasty because it is feudal age versus castle age units and villagers need to back away from the stone. Oh, God, I think this was a misread a little bit. I mean, it does buy him a bit of time, but, you know, if he waited just another, to be fair, another minute is a bit hard to wait for, right? It's a long time to wait for, but it's dicey, right? The good thing is trading decently-ish. Like, the Tower Victory is actually making a big difference here. And it's thinning down the archer numbers. And so I think overall, it's not the end of the world, especially with the man-at-arms coming on in. They're going to tank against the knights a little bit better. And actually, to be fair, overall, it's surprisingly decent trade. It was a decent trade. I mean, it was feudal age versus castle age units, but I guess Tower Victory came into clutch there, and that was a pretty decent trade-off. Especially because he secured that second relic. Didn't secure that third one, though, just yet. Now, veterancy comes on in for the archers. They're going to pack a much more of a punch. A couple of man-at-arms tanking as well. These knights getting shredded. This is starting to really swing in Beasty's favour. Lucifron might need to back out of here. I think he's committed, I guess. Breaking through in the north. This is great for Beasty. Oh, he didn't finish off the walls. That's how they got in. And that means it's going to be a hard farming transition. That's exactly what's happening. Yeah, definitely a hard farming transition. Beasty pushing away Lucifron's army for now. And he doesn't really have the wood. This is an issue. Like, he just doesn't have the wood, Lucifron, and he's going to be on the back foot for quite some time. Although, having said that, it kind of depends on what the farming transition is coming up for the Delhi. There it is. A lot of farms popping out. Wouldn't be surprised to see it keeping the spot, actually. Like, it's kind of interesting because you kind of want to protect the gold veins, the 8,000 tile gold veins, but at the same time, he's got a lot of food economy to protect. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see it keep here, actually. This would be a really nice spot. In the sacred, yeah, basically on top of the sacred site, in the stealth forest. Protect the 8,000 gold vein. This would be a really nice spot. I think that's a good prime location. We'll see what Beasty thinks. Getting a couple of man-at-arms as well here, Lucifron. Alright, he spots the berries in the south. Try to get an outpost with the villagers. I mean, these villagers will go down most likely. Bit of a distraction more than anything. He's getting a lot of his relics. He's got all 5 relics. Beasty with the signature Wallalo. Say, hey, look at me, I got 5 relics. Can I just buy time as much as possible? The army is getting here for Beasty, and I think actually this should be a good... I mean, doesn't... Actually, I think this is kind of... Half his army is not that much, actually. All things considered. And I think maybe Lucifron dives on in here. Although, look at that, reinforcements coming in with crossbows. This could be a decent end to the fight. Good start to the fight for Lucifron with the charge on in, but crossbow numbers looking pretty hefty for Beasty. And if the Beasty crossbows can get on top of those knights, it'll be pretty heavy at the moment, though. The man-at-arms are tanking. The man-at-arms need to get on top of the archers if they can. Crossbows on the knights. That's exactly what's happening now. The archers, though, they're picking off crossbows one by one, and I think it should be clear up here for Lucifron. Well, the man-at-arms still in good numbers. They are... They really flipping tank. Holy moly. Lucifron, he's trading well. And the archer numbers looking decent, so yeah. Overall, Beasty has to back... I mean, he can't really back away. He's going to lose the units, but what it does allow him to do is get keeps up in the middle of the map. We can get the sacred site in the north once again. How's it going, Daybreaker? Welcome on in, chap. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope things are fine and dandy down under. In Australia. A couple of man-at-arms peeling away on the gold vein. Actually manages to kill them pretty quickly. Man-at-arms, the villagers. And of course the knight helping on out. 3 sacred sites have been captured now, so possibly could be looking to go for a sacred site victory win condition. That'd be kind of cool to see. I haven't seen that in quite a while. Bear is expiring in the south, but ultimately Delhi have got a good farming transition, so he's probably going to be quite happy about that. The concerning feature at this stage of the game is that, sure, the French town centres, they do work faster and does have a good villager lead. That'll start to change though, because these keeps with the ability to now make villagers, he's effectively got 2 town centres versus 1. Albeit a French town centre, and another keep maybe. If he does scale up the keep numbers, the economy will start to rocket and roll. Let's get there though. At least one's certainly putting some pressure, and you can see Beasty just continue to try and carve up the map as favourably as possible. He's backing away lucifron just a little bit, breaks through the palisades. He's going to try and decap it. I'm not sure. Yeah, no, I don't think that works actually. The keep should go up in time. We'll have to see though. Sacred Site being decapped in the north though. That will possibly stay. Maybe not, no. It gets 2 spearmen and a crossbow. Yeah, he should be able to take care of that beastie actually. Keep goes up. Sacred Site not decapped. Keeps a couple of units on the Sacred Site there, Beasty, and that's actually important. He needs to make sure the Sacred Site time doesn't get decapped, and he allows the keep to keep firing off. 15 village garrison inside as well, so extra arrows coming on out, doing all sorts of damage, and I don't think lucifron keeps this. That's actually really bad for him. Look how many units he's lost for this endeavour, and he hasn't been able to decap the Sacred Site. Great work there by Beasty. Just to keep the units on top of the Sacred Site, and he's going to wall up behind this. And the gold income coming out of his ears at this point. It doesn't seem like a lot, like it's neck and neck in that front, but take a look. lucifron's got 18 villagers mining away. Beasty has none. Alright, we'll start to see the trebuchets on out for lucifron. That's a good move. He needs to get them protected and start taking down those keeps, and that's where things become a little bit interesting. Will the deadly look to get some springalds? That's kind of possibly what he needs at this point. Go for some mangonels. So lucifron's been able to delay the farming transition for quite some time, but yeah, here it comes now, and it's kind of a concern, right? Because the stage of the game now where we need a lot of siege, but lucifron need a lot of wood for farms as well. And of course you need wood for siege too. Although to be fair, he's actually been able to pump out 3 trebuchets. I'll take out that keep pretty quickly. Gives Beasty something to have to address. Has to do something about this. Alright, keep is on flames. I don't think that's going to go up. He's got plenty of stone in the bank to repair if he needs to, but it's only going to be a stopgap, right? Don't think that stays up. Yeah, there, down she goes. Trebuchet's moving back for lucifron. Wait, villagers. Alright, well, we're just going to replace it. We lost one. They say, hey, look, I've got enough stone. We'll make another. New improved version. And this time, we'll be getting corked architects. We'll take some time, though. Just 7.5 minutes, casually. I don't know if that will even, because we've only got 6 minutes on the Sacred Site time. That might not even come on in. Oh, snaps that one trebuchet. Good move there by Beasty. He's backing away. He's get behind the palisades if he can. Oh, massive mangonel shot on those arbaletiers and archers. Massive. They just want having to back away. That was huge. That stealth forest shot was absolutely beastly from Beasty. Yeesh. And that was massive. Look how weak those archers and ranged units are now. With the Red Palace in play, it'd be difficult for Beasty to try and defend this Sacred Site. And he's trying to get siege of his own, maybe trebuchets. Could be tricky. Yeah, farming transitions for any civilizations can be really tricky at times, for sure. It really halts your tempo, and if it comes at the worst time, it's a problem. And it's kind of looking tricky, right? The food income, not quite up to scratch for Beasty, but he did have the guild hall, right? So the guild hall was a bit of a magic button to get to that Imperial Age, rather. Gives him the food he needs, and the trebuchet is starting to work. One trebuchet for Beasty. It's got a good few springles, though. I think really it's going to come down to the fact if Beasty can snipe those springles or not. Mangonel deploys on the villagers, gets a shot off. And just get one villager, who very dramatically tumbles to the ground. I guess he did die, to be fair. Lucifron making a move through the middle. The keep it's up though for BC. That will help him a little bit stage a response and defense. The Red Palace though, it's pretty hefty. 5,000 HP on that thing. Same as the keep. He's moving on in here, Beasty. He's going to snipe out Trebuchet. Will he get one? Still remains another massive Mangonel shot, but he's starting to lose a lot of siege, Beasty, to the Red Palace. Huge. The Arbalest emplacement on the Red Palace took out a lot of siege engines there for Beasty. That's not what he would have wanted, but he did buy him some time. Now got 3 trebuchets. The Red Palace is repairing. The question is, Beasty, I mean, I think he's repairing his keep, right? Or he's not yet, but he's got plenty of stone. He can look to repair that if he wants to. I think he might have to, actually. Taken into the Elite Royal Knight, Lucifron. Maybe looking to get a bit of a raid in. This is the thing, at this stage of the game, I don't like it. It's tricky. Raiding is really tough, right? Unless you do like a massive amount of damage, it doesn't usually help. The reason why is because when population caps are like this, then actually sometimes killing villagers does your opponent a favor. Especially when they got the chance to reboom with multiple keeps, right? Because the fact that if he kills villagers, makes more space for a military population, gives the Delhi a little bit more of a sting. Especially with 3 trebuchets. Oh, he sniped out trebuchet. That's massive. Lucifron didn't keep the armor protected. These 2 springalds. Oh my god, they're getting so much value. That's huge, because it means now Lucifron not putting pressure on the keep. The keep is being repaired as well, and that allows now the palace to be... Yeah, that Lucifron's struggling. He's struggling wood massively. Because he doesn't have the farming transition he'd want. Like, he's only getting 800 food per minute. Knight's having to back away now and come back on home. He's trying to get a keep in the north as well. Keeps everywhere for Beasty. Does he ever keep in the south? He does, in fact. He has to keep on each sacred site. And this is the thing that's really hurting him, right? Food income. Like, Lucifron is having to trade off. Like, he's trying to spend wood on everything. He's getting wood being spent on siege, wood on farms, wood on archers. He does have 40 villages on wood, to be fair, but he's struggling on that front. That could be his downfall, Beasty. Only a few minutes. Well, the sacred site did get decapped, by the way, but perhaps a few minutes of taking away that palace. If he gets that Red Palace down, could be a good position to move on in. Oh, possibly can take the engagement. Beasty should be favourable. It should be favoured for him, actually. Got a good meat shield of man-at-arms. Good number of crossbows on the back line. Knights shouldn't get too much value out of this. Although, having said that, the archers getting on top of the crossbows. Man-at-arms, they are struggling to deal with the archers in full force. Knight numbers are going down. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Lucifron taps out. Beasty in the end just takes a really critical fight in the big moment. He takes the game. The Delhi Sultanate take the victory over the French. Hope you guys enjoyed this castled game. Take care, and see you next time.